I messed up a little bit, and I missed 2 days of my Bible study. I'm trying to read a chapter every day. I'm posting on this channel so that I can stay consistent because making videos is what I love to do, and I think making videos while doing this will encourage me to want to do it more. Um, so, but I missed 2 days because I was super busy staying up all night making a video. Not an excuse. I messed up, but the important thing is that I'm back in it now, so I'm not missing a day again. Um, Today I read Genesis 47, which the first part of it was about Joseph bringing his family to Pharaoh and uh, all of his brothers and his father. And right now, Joseph is one of the most important men and powerful men in all of Egypt with Pharaoh. And Joseph's family has come because of the famine, I believe. And Joseph brings his family to see Pharaoh, and his family introduces themselves as their shepherds, and they just want to live in Egypt anywhere they can. Um, but uh, Pharaoh tells Joseph to let his family live in the nicest part of Egypt, the best part of Egypt, wherever they want to live, wherever Joseph thinks that they're best to live at, and um, that's just a huge blessing. The second half of it is about Joseph's leadership during the famine, which surprising like that surprised me because I was more interested in the first part of the chapter, even though the second part of the chapter kind of sounds more enticing. I mean, they have like these headlines or chapter titles, so it's like Jacob blesses Pharaoh, and then Jacob's leadership in the famine. And when I first like glanced at the chapter, Joseph's leadership in the famine, that interested me more. But then I really found myself thinking about the first part of it, where Jacob blessed Pharaoh. Um, the thing that stuck out to me was, I wrote it down, that Joseph's respectfulness, diligence, godliness, and talent continued to repay him for the rest of his life as he grew to become one of the most powerful men in Egypt. But it also eventually grew past just helping him, and Joseph's character also brought success to his entire family. That was super interesting to me because, I mean, it seems obvious that being respectful, diligent, godly, and talented will bring you success in life and you'll have a prosperous life. But it's not so easy to execute that all the time. It's hard to always be respectful, diligent, godly, and talented. Um, but, I mean, these are all things that Joseph did. And before I started posting these videos, there's so many stories about how Joseph is just a godly man that I read. So, um, yeah, it's just a good reminder to be like Joseph because, um, like that's truly how you have a prosperous life is to follow after good role models like Joseph. And there's plenty of good Christian role models today too. Like you can find them on YouTube, you can find them as celebrities, and it's like it seems like it's hard to see. It seems like it's impossible to be successful, but also be all these things. But like you see it happen if you just look, and it's important most of all to remember that it's most important to be successful in God's eyes. Not like you can be successful in the world by doing these things, but it's important to not let being successful in the world take over your desire to be successful in God's eyes because that should be the main desire. It's hard because we live in the world, so we want to be successful in the world. We don't live in heaven yet, so it's hard to see what that'll even be like. But just picture the mental image of when we go to heaven and seeing God, and like we have no way to like even comprehend what that'll be like. But we we want to be accepted, and we want to be accepted not just like, yeah, you were good enough, you can go ahead in. We want to be accepted with open arms and like, great job, great, like just imagine how great that'll be to be told by God, nice work, like it, just the greatest pleasure of all time. So that's important to, we can't as humans wrap our minds around that, but to try and to remember, just think about like God, like, you can read in the Bible things about how important that is. um, but yeah, it's important to be successful in God's eyes. But I mean, it can repay you in the world too, as it did with Joseph. Joseph's talent and godliness and respectfulness and hardworkingness made him become one of the most successful men in Egypt because he was so respected and so liked by Pharaoh. He started as a slave and worked his way all the way up there, which is just an incredible story. Um, and like I said, like I wrote down, it eventually grew past just helping him, and like his entire family was able to move to the greatest part of Egypt and the nicest part of Egypt. Um, which is, I mean, you can look at that, put that in perspective for now. Like everyone wants to like move their parents out and give their parents a better life and move them to a nicer place, and that's exactly what Joseph did on a grand scale in the Bible. And so it's just like a good example of like that's what I want to do, you know, like I want to be Joseph. I want to move my family and my parents out and give them a nicer place to live. And so it's just, I mean, we have the roadmap that Joseph gives us if you just like watch him and look at him as an example and a role model. So there's plenty of, like I said, there's plenty of other role models to follow in this day and age. Sounded old when I said that, but in today's world, like there are examples of that. You just have to find them. Uh, but yeah, Joseph's fathers and brothers were given the best land of Egypt. And then at the end I wrote, it's important to always be kind, respectful, diligent, and most importantly, godly, because it will pay you back not only in this life, but in the life after this. And that's very important. So, yeah, that's it. That's all I got today. Thank you for watching. If you did, this channel is not I'm not trying to get views or anything. This is my Bible study that I'm not great at keeping up with reading a chapter every day, so I'm trying to use this as a way to stay consistent with it. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.